Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is a game on the Pacific Admins Edition. This is my play-by-email match against Deaniks. He's a Japanese player and for me it is the Allied side. It's now March 1842 and this will be the last turn of this match. March 19th, more or less Deaniks. I don't know if something happened in the turn, I never got the files back. But he was not more willing to continue the match. He had no hope to turn it around, let's say this. So first attack on my submarine here, one small damage. My bombardment continue because if there's no one to stop me, I create damage. Looks like the enemy air fleet is not more there, or I miss it. Hard to say. But you can see that his attempt to take Rangoon was never successful. He was not able to take Luzon, means Manila, Clarkville, Bataan. He was not able to achieve anything in Java. Okay, he just was starting to arrive. Port Moresby is under strong control for the Australian army. Darwin similar. So even Singapore will never fall to the Japanese. So you can really see there's simply no success for the Japanese. The Japanese was able to kill a bunch of my ships, true. But this was the only success, and ships will not rule, or will not change. Of course, if you don't have any ships, it's very hard to do anything, but they are only one piece in the puzzle. So today I say let's try to engage the enemy Oscars. Yesterday I had my pilots and airframes on rest, and I only want to test how strong the Chinese can fight here, and it looks so. With the Chinese Air Force, I would say the problem is I have maybe some kind of pilots, but I have really not enough airframes. Very limited number. And one last attack from Tuna on the surface with 2 torpedo hits. So this cargo ship will likely go down, yes. My submarine fleet was also very early on able to inflict casualties on the Japanese shipping. I mean, this has not really any big meaningful impact on the game, but of course it's the impact on the morale, that's for sure. If you already have in spring of 42 to struggle with with American submarines around Japan, and you don't get it under control, then this is maybe not good. And I also, at the last turn, I can still hold Singapore. So I will go shortly over the map, how was the situation, but it's clear to see I was not really able to ever start my air war with Japan. I never was able to strike back. I was only bringing all equipment in position and waiting for April, May to strike. So the last day in the war was mixed. So my air fleet was able to destroy 4 Oscars, and I also lost 3 P-40s are lost in China against 4 Oscars. So 1-to-1 kill ratio in China with Chinese pilots is maybe okay, but of course maybe not what I desire. Still, I would say it's okay. Good. If we check now the overall war, because the war is now over, you can still see and keep in mind that this is over-reported by roughly 200 aircraft. So 1,200 aircraft against 600. So it's a really clear kill ratio 1-to-2. So that is normally the opposite. Normally the Japanese can kill doubles, and it's the Allies losing 1,200 and the Japanese 600. That would be normal. 1-to-1 kill ratio is already pro-Allies, and this is really clear pro-Allies so early in the war. Especially because this is all Navy, 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 Navy. Far too many Navy aircraft down. Okay, and for me, Warhawks, Hurricanes. You can see I use mostly only fighters to fight and destroy enemy fighter aircraft, strike aircraft. The only aircraft that really suffered was maybe Catalinas by ops losses mainly, and Blenheims was intercepted once or twice. Plus my B-17Ds, but these are all destroyed on the ground in turn 1. So not really a part of the air war. And my pilot, I was not able to get any double ace, but I had a lot of aces already for this short time. And not many casualties. And I even had some British and New Zealand guys with ace status. So I had a lot of American aces, clear, but I had at least 1, 2, 3, 4 British pilots with ace status and 1 guy from New Zealand. So that was the guy fighting over Surabaya, yeah, for sure. But this air wing was also fighting before over Singapore, and you can see that the ratio is roughly speaking 1-to-2. Not completely in this air wing, but I think they start with Buffalo, so I had first to change them to Hurricanes, but they hold their own. And even if they've won a kill ratio of 1-to-1, that would be still good. So, this is air war, nothing else really to discuss. Ship sunk is of course heavily still fog of war, so I cannot really say what Japan lost. I also don't ask really. The carrier, I don't think so. Yamashiro, I also don't think so. The 2 heavy cruisers and 1 light cruiser, yeah, and a lot of other equipment, but I would say Japan not lost the sea battle, no, but they lost the air battle. And for me, I lost a lot of stuff. Most important, of course, Lexington, Pulse, Prince of Wales, and Charlotte, plus Mauritius at Fiji cruiser. And Perth was also a good cruiser. Sumatra and all the others are already second class cruiser and C class, D class cruisers. I don't really care too much. So the first 6 ships are maybe here important. And this was a shipyard that Manila lost. I mean, a lot of points, but nothing really important. Army-wise point view, so I can check what is of course completely breaking the game, or not, let's say, what is untypical is the ratio of base points. its ownership, and that is what is really strange. So I can still hold nearly 12,000 points in base control. Japan have still only 3,000. That is, I don't say it will flip, but normally it must be also here now 1-to-1, like 6,000 to 6,000 or even better pro Japanese. This is why I still have a win ratio of 2-to-1. I'm still on major victory for the Allies. Yeah. Good, I don't think I can really discuss here more. Aircraft replacement pool. I don't know if this is important. If I kick out the Soviets. The color is always changing. So this is more or less my aircraft in pool left, without the Soviets. And without Philippines and without French. I don't know if they really have anything. So, but you can see that I can also maybe do this. I can see only Navy pilots. So the US Navy pool aircraft, a lot of dive bombers, the Type 2, they're not so the best, but acceptable, but they're not more under construction. But I getting more and more SBD3s would be now the standard. So I have a lot of dive bombers left in pool. I also have a lot of Wildcats 4F4s. No, F4, 4. But or you can call them maybe Wildcat 4. That is a good airframe. I mean, that is the airframe have to engage the zero. I don't say it's better, it's similar. Not much more. You can see the amount of Catalinas is not great, but I could use a lot and also lost some. So the Navy looks good with a lot of dive bombers and a lot of Wildcats. That is what really matters for the Navy. The Army have a lot of Banshees, dive bombers, so at the end SPDs. But and I use them and they're okay for anti-shipping. Nothing else but anti-shipping. I have also tons of Aerocobras. The 39 and the 400 is also coming more and more. And so I have a lot of ground attack fighters. And the rest is not so great, pool-wise. So I still have not any real pool, but it's March, end of March, but of course this is not the time to really build up any pool. So you can see that I have a lot of aircraft still in pool. I never use them because I was not able to use them. The Marines, they don't have their own air fleet, they only buy, I think, Navy and Army equipment and use it in their own air wings. The Australian air fleet is, let's say, I have all these shitty light bombers, they are only for training. I really would say they are only for training. Hudson ones are also mainly only for training. They're not frontline bombers more this early. But I have Hudson 3s, this is a long range, and they have radar, so they are for anti-shipping or anti-submarine. And I slowly getting also better equipment here. I slowly getting Catalina 1s back because I had a long time none more in the pool. So I can now rebuild the Australian Navy search air wings. And this is all. So I would say Australia is still far away from anything. And New Zealand is similar situation. There's nothing really in the pool, only this outdated bombers you can use for training. And nothing really else. The British air fleet looks not so bad. I have a lot of Hurricane 2Bs and 2As. 2As I would say is also okay for fighting, a lot of light machine guns, but in 42 most Japanese aircraft have no armor protection, so you can use them. The 2B have only more light machine guns, so it doesn't matter really. So I have a lot of frontline fighters. and small other equipment. And again, I have some pool, but not too much. French Air Force is only, doesn't matter. The Dutch producing some kind of equipment. You can see that I just start to get the Mitchells. This is the first real modern medium bomber. I would replace the B-10 slowly with the Mitchells because more range, more bomb load, and of course overall better aircraft. I have some pool aircraft, but I'm missing modern airframe, so I can also get here slowly some Hurricane 2Bs. So I also would change the Buffaloes now slowly out, but it will not happen. The Chinese having nearly nothing. Of course, I have I-15, I-16s for cap, okay, some DC-3s. Yeah, so long if I control the boomer road, I don't need airlifting supplies. This is nonsense. So I have nothing else. I have also no more P-40Bs, and I'm waiting to get anything, but you can see there's not much coming for it. This is also why I really give every airframe what the Chinese can get. I give it to the Chinese air fleet and not using with American pilots. Soviets, India have nothing, Commonwealth is Commonwealth, Philippines is Philippines. In Canada also just start to build up something. So the Kitty Hawks, these are also P-40Es. So slowly starting to build here some aircraft. This is only training. These are Blenheim 4s. This is okay aircraft, medium bomber, nothing too special, but light medium bomber. So that is all for the air war. What happened so far? Nothing else. I can now only discuss and say that I had here now 8 battleships in Pago Pago. I had 4 battleships in Suva ready. So I had a dozen battleships to start the conquest, to retake all of these bases, and I guess there's not much here. I was building up Tana still, but not more long I would have here airfield, and then I could recon aircraft, scout here everything. Tons of aircraft here, and I don't know if I had a recon already here. I think it was still on the way. Yeah, still on the way. But I think soon recon aircraft would be arriving. My tanker just arrived because I had in Pago Pago for a long time no fuel. So my fuel just arrived. And I was also building up here some bases. So anyway, I normally won't start at around 15th of April to reconquest all of this. I could push it much faster, but it would really not be professional. And this is allies. Allies normally must play and prepare and be safe. And the Japanese must rush and take the risk. So nothing else. So Soabaya was under firm control. I had the engineers, I had defense. And you can see I had some fighters, recon, and even torpedo bombers. But I was not... here's the enemy carrier fleet. They coming back. So they're coming back to save this base and help here to control again. But this is this back and forward. That is not strategy. You must have a strategy and then you act. You cannot always change. Especially Japan must normally dictate the strategy and cannot always react to the allies, of at least not too much. Yeah. I would simply say it's now over. It was a clear victory for the allies. I was never really under pressure. I was ready to retake everything in the Southeast Pacific by April. And I was really already preparing and building up here Kopeng. I had the Australian division to build up here and to build a next hard point here. Kopeng, Arbonne, and Darwin. If I can hold these 3 bases, it's very easy to strike here back. If and Kendari was more or less then the next point where I say, okay, if there's no pressure, then I also build up Kendari as a hard point. And then I have still Tarakan and Balikpapan. Anyway. So this is, if you play Japan, you really must know what you're doing. So never start with playing Japan first. You must play the AI at least 2 or 3 times with both sides, whatever you want to play. Then you must play the allies once or twice at least, better 3 times. And then you can say, okay, let's try Japan. Because Japan is always much more complicated and much more pressure. If you can find a game like you won't play it soft and you don't care how you play and you don't care efficiency or something like this, that is maybe other story. Okay, see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.